Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Sami here. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto was the secretly a Kamikage, part 1. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please subscribe to our channel, and like this video. So let's get into the video. Prologue. Tired. That is the only way to describe how Naruto Uzumaki was feeling right now. Tired of hiding behind the mask of stupidity and incompetence. Yep, that's right, Naruto is not an idiot. In fact, he is a genius, even more so than his parents, Minato Namikaze the Udami, and Kushina Uzumaki. Two highest-ranked shinobi, legends in their own rights. Yet, due to circumstance, Naruto has to hide behind a mask of stupidity and incompetence. Pretending to love the color orange, Sakura Haruno, regimen, and dreaming of being Hokage. The truth was he hated all of those things. Well, not Sakura, he is just disappointed in her, and she has so much potential yet wastes it due to her obsession with Sasuke Uchiha. If she ever grew up and actually trained, she could surpass his mother, Tsunade, and Mito Uzumaki put together. That is why he pretends to like her. He hopes to give her enough confidence to do this. Naruto hates wasted potential very much. Oh well, not much he could do now. Once again he failed to do the clone. The damn thing uses too little chakra, and while he has better control than most people think, his raw chakra amount is too much for him to control right now. He hated the village for his inability to get help for that. That, and the incompetent and naive third Hokage. It's an okay kid, Kurama said soothingly. Yes, Naruto has been in contact with him for 10 years. We just have to be patient. Yes, I know, it just irritates me so much sometimes. Hey Naruto, someone calls from behind the swing he is sitting on. Naruto turns and sees the silver-haired teacher Mizuki, level and arrogant as hell. The man hates Naruto with a passion, something Naruto senses constantly. His kind smile puts Naruto on edge for that very reason. You know, Ruka does not want to fail you, he just does what he has to, as a teacher. I know that, I just want to pass so much, Naruto replies, sensing something darker coming from the teacher. What would you do if I told you of another way to pass? One that is guaranteed to pass you. Anything. All you have to do is steal the forbidden scroll of seals, and learn on from the scroll, he says, smiling maliciously. I'll do it, Naruto replies, secretly planning on learning what he could, and blaming Mizuki. Fast forward several hours to the forest, Naruto reading the scroll he stole after knocking out the Hokage with his sexy jutsu. Shadow Clone Naruto reads, learn this kit. With your massive reserves you can become powerful in a very short time. Your mother used this a lot. We can make up for lost time very quickly. You don't need good control for this. Really? Okay then, so Naruto spent the next few hours learning this. 3 hours later, Naruto, I found you, exclaimed the irate brown Ruka. What were you thinking? Stealing the scroll of seals. Simple really. Mizuki lied to me saying I would pass if I stole and learned, which I did, and so I decided to listen, and then catch him myself or simply expose, since I knew no one would believe me if I came forward. Naruto replied. Iruka was shocked by Naruto's explanation, actually by everything about Naruto right then. His voice was much deeper and articulate. He sounded like an aristocrat, his eyes cool, yet sharp. Think like A's in speech. His reasoning, Iruka lamented, was very sound, yet it worried him for it sounded nothing like Naruto. What was going on with Naruto? Is there something wrong with the seal? Before he had time to ask, he noticed Naruto stiffened and sharply turned toward the bushes behind him and burst forth. Naruto doesn't trust Iruka. He is here to kill you, Mizuki exclaimed. What? No, I'm not. I'm here to get the scroll, said panicking. Naruto, do you want to know if everyone in the village hates you? No, stop, it is forbidden. Really? Enlighten me then, Naruto said calmly, slightly smirking. Of course he already knew. It would be more fun to break Mizuki's fun. The fourth Hokage didn't kill the Kyuubi. He sealed it in you. You are the Kyuubi reborn. He screamed, smirking insanely, just waiting for Naruto to break. And, I thought you were going to tell me something I didn't really know. This left Iruka and Mizuki flabbergasted, as well as the third Hokage who was watching the scene through his orb. How all three sputtered. Naruto should never have known. I would tell you, but the Anbu around here have a job to do immediately. Mizuki was subdued by 3 of varying masks with Nico leading them. Mizuki, you are under arrest in the name of the Hokage, she said, holding his sword to his throat. Flash forward 15 minutes later in the Hokage's office. Well Naruto, you have a lot of explaining to do, the aging Hokage said, his eyes focused on Naruto, taking in the extreme difference in Naruto's attitude and stance. It reminded him of Itachi, only weakened by the orange jumpsuit. Seeing, as you were watching with your orb during my explanation, I answered the question that really is burning in your mind. The Naruto you knew was a mask, one of stupidity and ignorance to protect myself from the village and civilian council, as your inadequate protection was not capable of this. The truth is I am very smart, have been in contact with Kurama, Kyuubi's real name, since I was 3, and have known about my parents just as long. However, now that I am officially a ninja, and have the shadow clone, I can remove my mask, and become the being I am meant to be. Oh, and I hate the color orange, regimen, and have no desire to be Hokage, only to become the most powerful being ever. This explanation left Hiruzen both stunned and saddened. Stunned that Naruto managed to fool everybody for years, and his knowledge, and saddened that it was necessary, and how much he failed the boy. Don't bother apologizing to me, Hiruzen. Just pay me the mission, and let me be on my way. Oh, and I will come out about my parents during the exams. If you want to pay your debt a little bit, then put me on Team 7 so that the council can't fail me, and forbid anyone from trying to suppress my growth. And Kurama is helping me, and is not a threat, so I worry about it. So that is what happened. Naruto was paid, and left for home with a small smile of true happiness. His mask was gone, he was free. The next day at 5 AM, the first thing Naruto did when he woke was smile. Finally he can be himself. Good morning, Kurama. Good morning, kid. We have 2 weeks till team assignment, so let's go to the library and get to work. Gotcha. What should we focus on? I am thinking about everything. I want to be an all-around shinobi. Well, you look like your father, you have your mother's build, so I think Kinjutsu should be a big part of your work, seals of course, and major chakra control. Some elemental control would be a plus, as well for swift combat. The fox's time with 2 very powerful Uzumakas was paying off. Cool, let's do this. As he left his house, he created a clone to buy new clothes, weights, sealing equipment, more supplies in general, chakra paper, and a Bakken to practice his. At the library, creating 30 clones, he had them looking for scrolls on Taijutsu, chakra control, elemental manipulation, basic, sealing, and histories, sciences, politics, psychology, etc. After collecting his scrolls and checking out, he went to a training field behind the Hokage mountain that contained a waterfall, lots of trees, and a wide clearing. Perfect. After testing his element, which showed a major wind affinity, powerful water affinity, and mild fire affinity, he created 500 clones which he assigned to each area. 25 clones to learn the serpent style of Orochimaru, 25 to learn Tsunade's medical fighting style, and 25 to learn Midogai's strong fist Goken, as it was called. The goal is to merge them to get the benefits of all, the raw strength and speed of Goken, the agility and precision of serpent style, and the evasion and perception of Tsunade's medic style. 75 to work on the katas for wave step for his Kinjutsu, based on speed, precision, and evasion. 75 to break into 3 groups of 25 to work on his accuracy with kunai, shuriken, and 75 to break into 1 group of 25, and 10F50 to have 50 work on tree walking, and 25 walking with their hands to work on chakra control. 75 to work on elemental manipulation training, 25 to work on each element. 25 to split the leaves, 25 to draw out the water, and 25 to burn the leaves with chakra. 75 to work on hand signs, 10 to read the further material he brought. 15 to work on his calligraphy, 25 to work on adding chakra to his sense to improve them. All the while he added the 20 pounds weights on his body, and wore his new outfit, that looked like the outfit with a long grey undershirt underneath. He then began his physical training, one that would make Guy pale. 12 o'clock. After dispelling his clones 5 from each group at a time every 25 seconds, Naruto sat down to eat, and go over the information he gained. After 30 minutes of rest, which thanks to the combination of Uzumaki vitality and Kurama's chakra he was ready to go, Naruto created the same amount of clones, with one change of the 50 clones working on tree climbing, 25 would now work on water walking. And all the others working on his control would add leaves to their body to increase their control. He grinned thinking about how powerful he would be by team assignment in 2 weeks. At 6:30 he sparred with his clones to make everything fluid. As he sleeps at night he has 25 clones work on Fuinjutsu. 1 week later, Naruto's stats. Kinjutsu high level, Taijutsu mid chunin level, control low jonin level, weapons high chunin level, ninjutsu low, elemental manipulation low level, seals level 310, weighs at 150 pounds. After a week of training Naruto was able to add resistance seals which were like wading through water. He was a true Uzumaki with his massive increase in sealing knowledge. He was working on a seal to help those with less chakra build their up quicker. He was very pleased with his progress. He knew he could beat every one of those he graduated with. Due to his better control, Naruto added 400 clones to work on different areas. 50 to work on chakra enhanced strength, not Tsunade's just general enhanced strength. 50 to work on medical ninjutsu. 50 to work on chakra scalpels. 50 to work on bettering his substitution. 50 to work on cage kunai. 50 to work on various elemental ninjutsu. 15 to work casting. 35 to work on breaking. 50 to working on enhancing the sense with chakra. 1 week later team assignment. After 2 weeks of intense training, Naruto was very pleased with his results, which were a bit slower due to being self-taught. He had become a lot stronger, and could say that he was a solid low join level shinobi. He had found that was a natural talent for him, as was sealing, and elemental manipulation. His incredible healing abilities helped a lot, as he was able to up his resistance seals often throughout the week, all the way up to level 530 resistance seal. He even finished the seals for helping those with low chakra levels which he applied to himself. It works by storing the passive chakra while you sleep, creating a chakra pull, and the constant pull on your chakra increases your reserves over time. Naruto's stats: Genjutsu mid jonin level, Taijutsu low jonin level, Control high jonin level, Weapons mid jonin level, Ninjutsu low jonin level, Elemental manipulation high jonin level, Seals level 610, level 5 resistance seals, like walking through water going at 30 miles an hour. Medical ninjutsu mid chunin level, Genjutsu low level, casting, but is immune to due to Kurama. Speed low level, Strength mid level, Chakra level high cage, due to increasing his physical attributes, and overall knowledge Naruto's chakra levels doubled. Smiling at the mirror, Naruto just reviewed his improvements, wondering who his sensei would be. He knows, probably Kakashi, as he was in the previous Team 7, and possesses a Sharingan, so he would be used to teach the emo Uchiha. Kurama then replied with pride dripping from his voice. You know it, I am impressed with your massive improvements. Don't hold anything back, okay, show the world who you are. Of course Kurama, I plan to. And with that Naruto left his apartment. As he was walking down the street, Naruto stopped at Hisakurashi's weapon shop, and decided to look for a real sword before he went to the academy for hopefully the last time. Looking at their fine selection, Naruto noticed a fine Anbu regulation chakra conducting metal blade, and thought bingo. He grabbed it off the shelf, and went over to buy it. How much? Naruto asked the burly, slight soot-covered middle-aged man at the register. That would be 200,000 ryo, he gruffly answered, so Naruto paid the cost, placed the sword on his back, and left the store to go to the academy. At the academy, sitting in the back, Naruto waited for everyone to arrive. After 25 minutes of waiting, almost everyone was there. Then everyone here was rumbling, followed by a grey dust cloud were the two banshees, and top Uchiha fangirls, Sakura Haruno, and Ino Yamanaka. By one forehead Ino screeched at here fellow banshee. Are you blind Ino pig? My big toe was at least 1/4 inch ahead of yours. Sakura also screeched in reply, which sparked a banshee bitch fest over who won, and Uchiha's seating rights. This got to Naruto despite his rather high level of patience, and so he decided to intervene. Shut up you two, Mikami, you two are embarrassments to Kunoichi everywhere. Stop with your senseless bickering, and sit your skinny asses down. Besides the two seats next to the Uchiha, Naruto exclaimed rather loudly. Now this had several reactions both in the classroom, and with observing the graduates through the Hokage's orb. First it drew attention to him, and made several of the girls blush at his physique. It caused Hinata to pass out from blood loss while mumbling Naruto so hot. Everyone who recognized him was sent into shock at his lack of an orange jumpsuit, manner of speech, and what he said altogether. None more than Shino and Shikamaru were shocked, who despite being very observant geniuses, did not expect this nor expect that of his previous behavior, as a mask. This only angered Sakura, who barked at him. Naruto, what are you doing here? Only graduates are supposed to be here, not failures like you, she finished with a sneer. Well Haruno, if you use that Uchiha obsessed brain behind that enormous forehead of yours, then maybe you would notice that I have a height, and thus must have graduated. Causing even more shock at how he talked to his precious Sakura. This infuriated Sakura, as she walked to him cracking her knuckles ready to pummel him. Naruto. As she swung at him, Naruto merely ducked, and flicked her in the chest with chakra-enhanced fingers, sending her to the front of that classroom. As she got up dazed, she tried to screech at him, what the he ouch. She yelped, as she was zapped by the seals that appeared around her neck. Hurts Haruno, those seals will zap you every time you attempt to act like a banshee, or try to hit me. Think of it like a temporary shock collar. This left everyone in a complete shock, and a little fear at his sudden skill and attitude change. With the Jonin in the Hokage's office, silence reigned through the office, as everyone was in awe of the so-called dead last act. This was broken by a rather insane-sounding crackle coming from one Anko Mitarashi. While he certainly put the fangirl in her place, she managed to choke out between cackles. The skill to do what he just did is at least level. I thought he was the dead last. Well, surprised Kurenai was rather pleased, as like all serious kunoichis she hated fangirls. Yes, it would seem that Naruto was serious about his old behavior being a mask. The old Hokage mumbled with a slight scowl. He too was shocked at Naruto's skills with seals, and his new attitude, which would take some time to get used to. It was a mask. That's good, no one is that much of an idiot. But what about the skill increase? This was Yogo Yuzaki, aka the Captain Nico. She had watched Naruto when he was a little boy, and had a soft spot for the boy. He has been using the Shadow Clone Jutsu to his peak, and the library for the last 2 weeks. He has become massively more powerful. He actually was using 500 as of last week, and 900 for the last week. This left the other in awe at such an ability to learn and improve. Over a short period of time Naruto could become a cage-level shinobi. This thought left some a little uncomfortable at the thought of the demon brat becoming so powerful. Don't tell Kakashi Anko managed to get out between cackles. It will be fun to watch him flounder at Naruto's real skill. I agree with her, however, while it will be amusing it will also give us a preview of what Naruto can do without bias, said the local illusion mistress, for she was genuinely curious what Naruto could do if his actions at the classroom were any indication. Very well, no one tells him, and oh here he is and declared, as everyone felt the distinct feeling of a shushin about to happen. With a puff of smoke there was the grey-haired cycloptic shinobi scratching the back of his head, horn in the other hand. I'm not late. I had the gall to ask, only to be answered in the way of massive amounts of killing intent. Just shut up, and go pick up your team when the time comes. The old Hokage replied, voice full of irritation. Back in the classroom, Iruka walked into the room sighing at the shocked faces, just knowing Naruto was the cause of them. Okay, now that you have graduated, and then the teacher began his rant about how they were now proud shinobi, and carriers of the will of fire. Now Team 1 will be, not going to make up their names, and I am stooping to Team 7. Team 7 will be Sakura Haruno, Naruto Uzumaki. This brought about Sakura's cry of despair, and Naruto's utter indifference, and Sasuke Uchiha insert eardrum-shattering squeal about true love prevailing, followed by a screech of pain from the seals on her neck. This made everyone laugh, and Iruka starred in a mix between amusement, concern, and joy at the thought of someone shutting up the pink-haired howler monkey and being led by Kakashi Haddock. He then went on to mark off the rest of the teams, and then left the class. About 10 minutes later, two people walked in, an exceptionally beautiful black-haired kunoichi with red eyes, and a bearded man with a cigarette in his mouth. They asked about 10, and 8, and then left. 2 hours later, Kakashi walked into a very amusing scene, a blushing pink-haired girl with stars in her eyes, and drool on her chin looking at another student with a duck-ass-shaped haircut, and scowl on his face. Looking for his other student, he was shocked to find him sitting on the ceiling reading a book on seals. This put him on edge. The dead last do a chakra exercise reading a rather advanced book on seals. Shaking his head at the situation, he began to speak. My first impression is I don't like you. Meet me on the roof in 5 minutes. And with that he disappeared in a puff of smoke. As the others went to go, they turned to see Naruto also disappear in a puff of smoke, making the Uchiha see that the fact that he could not do that. The pink-haired monkey fumed at the fact that he was showing up to her precious Sasuke. A small poof startled Kakashi, as he had started to read his beloved and pathetic corn. From the small cloud was his blonde-haired student who was still reading his book on advanced seals, completely ignoring his teacher's FLABBERGASTED. I love that word expression. After a minute or so, the door to the roof slammed open with an angry and jealous Sasuke and a horny, blushing Sakura. Well then, now that we are all here, I believe we need to introduce ourselves. Names, ages, likes, dislikes, dreams, and specialties. Kakashi said with a lazy one-eyed grin. How about you go first, sensei, so we can see how you want it done? Sakura said, shaking with nervousness. Okay, I am Kakashi Haddock, age 28, I like a lot of things, and hate a lot of things. Dreams for the future. Well, you're too young to know that, and specialties would be ninjutsu and tracking. He spoke with a lazy, almost carefree drawl. You first, Pinky. Sakura scowled at that remark. Well, I am Sakura Haruno, age 12, the things I like are. I mean, the person I like is Squeal. Ouch. Her banshee screech interrupted by the seal's sharp reminder of Naruto's warning. This caused Kakashi to raise an eyebrow, and Sasuke to scowl at the reminder of Naruto's new skills, and Naruto, well, he gave a soft smirk that practically screamed, well, I warned you, didn't I? After giving Naruto a hard glare, Sakura continued a little quieter. I dislike Naruto, Pig, and seals. My dream is to, insert blush, marry a certain someone, and, as I only know what they taught in the academy, I have no specialties, as of now. Okay, next, dark, pale, and brooding. Sasuke Uchiha, age 12. I don't particularly like anything, and I dislike almost everything. My specialties are fire, the interceptor fast, and soon the Sharingan. I don't really have a dream, but a goal, one I will make a reality. One to kill a certain someone, and avenge my clan. This made Naruto and Kurama roll their collective eyes. Itachi Uchiha was a true prodigy, a master at pretty much everything. No matter how much Sasuke worked, he would never beat Itachi, and it was obvious. Sasuke could, and would get stronger, that was true, but never Itachi's level. Okay, and you Whiskers. Naruto Uzumaki, although that is not my full last name, but that will have to wait for a while. Age 12, I like training, reading, and fighting. Dislikes are fangirls, the 3rd and 4th Hokages, Jiraiya of the Sannin, the red-hot habanero, virtually the entire village, and a certain dog. Naruto said that last part with a smirk at Kakashi, to let him know just who he was referring to, which made Kakashi pale slightly. Dreams for the future include become as powerful as humanly possible in all fields, and showing this village just how badly it fucked up. Specialties, well, you will see in our real test when you. This last part had several reactions, looks of confusion formed the students, and a hardening of the face for Kakashi. What real test? Sakura demanded. Oh, that, well, I mean the real test we have to take to truly become genin, to test our mental faculties, if I am correct. Naruto replied smoothly with no indication of the fact that he should not know this. He is right, and 66% tend to fail it. Kakashi answered, his scowl still present at Naruto's unexpected knowledge, and his overall responses. Wanting to leave to go, and talk to the, he simply said, I'll expect you at field 7 at 9 o'clock tomorrow, and I would eat breakfast if I were you, and with that he was gone with a poof of smoke. Ignore what he said, and eat breakfast, oh, and he is always late by at least 2 hours. Before Naruto was also gone in a poof of smoke. Both that remained just stared at the lingering smoke, planning to ignore the so-called dead last. In the Hokage's office, Kakashi appeared to ask the Hokage about Naruto's actions. As he began to open his mouth, Sarutobi said, "Yes, I know Naruto is different, but if you had attended the meeting, then you would know, wouldn't you? You will just have found out during the next one, huh?" And with that he dismissed the shocked shinobi. "Tomorrow will be interesting, won't it?" he said to himself. A note to the reader. The dog he was referring to was Kakashi. It was his mask. He has learned other things than what I have said. I am saving them for later, and he still has a vicious prankster mind, and is still very creative. You'll see. At the training ground 11:45, Naruto appeared in a tree branch about 20 feet from where Sakura and Sasuke were sitting. He smirked at them, knowing they did not eat breakfast, and was content in the fact that he was smart enough to do so. Seeing as how he was still early enough, he decided to do a little prep work on the field. After all, while he was not an idiot, he still pranks, though they were a bit more. It's interesting now. About 15 minutes after Naruto appeared, Kakashi decided to grace his students with his presence, only somewhat wary of Naruto's developments. Smiling at his two students with that lazy one-eyed grin, he began to search for his blonde student, but could not find nor sense him. "You're late." His female student began to wail at him, only to flinch and scratch her neck, as if expecting pain. It seemed the seals were no longer working. "Oh, you know, I just got lost on the road of life." "So where's Naruto?" he lazily drawled out, completely ignoring their completely furious expressions. "We don't know, the idiot never showed up," Sakura replied with a scowl. It seemed she was still angry about yesterday. "Oh, I don't know about that. I have been here for about 15 minutes, Naruto said suddenly right behind Kakashi. This made the other two students both gasp and scowl. Gasped at the fact that no one knew he was there, and scowled at his once again newly proved skill increase. Kakashi, on the other hand, was more than a little worried. He was the best tracker in the village, and Naruto had the most massive reserves he had seen. For Naruto to be able to hide from him said a lot about Naruto's skill and stealth. It seemed there was more to his little blonde student than he originally thought. He hated being out of the loop. "Well, now that we are all here, let us begin, shall we?" As with it, he began to explain the test. "You have until 3 o'clock to steal at least one of the 2 bells from me. But sensei, there are only 2 bells, and 3 of us. Guess who? And you deserve a cookie." "Very good, Sakura. The loser will be tied up, and forced to watch me eat my lunch." And with that the two by the tree's stomachs began to growl. "Naruto, you seem to eat. Why is that?" "Simple really, I would rather be full, and puke than be hungry, and weak. Besides, you were suggesting not ordering me." In a calm voice with just a hint of a condescending feel to it, as if one were talking to a small child. After everyone got over their shock of being outsmarted by Naruto, Kakashi finished by explaining the rest of the test. "Anyway, the loser will be sent back to the academy. Come at me with intent to kill." And with that the game was met. "But we could hurt you, sensei," the monkey said, well screeched. "Yes, Sakura." 3 academy graduates heard a well-trained second veteran of war. "That will happen," Naruto said, this time in full condescending mode. Even though he knew he could do some damage, as Kakashi was not expecting his higher skills. Naruto then turned with a kunai ready to throw it, as Kakashi appeared behind him gripping his wrist. "Don't worry, Sakura, I will be fine," Kakashi said, all the while missing Naruto's smirk. As Sakura and Sasuke disappeared to go hide. "Well, you're a feisty one, aren't you?" And before he got an answer, Naruto turned into a puff of smoke. After knocking Sakura out with a simple, and burying a somewhat impressive Sasuke up to his neck, he went to find his elusive blonde-haired student porn in hand. Then he heard a soft swishing sound. Turning with the kunai in hand, he blocked Naruto's sword. Completely shocked at the strength behind the blow, and Naruto's dark smirk, he almost slipped up, but began to push him back. Then Naruto's smirk deepened, and his blade glowed blue, and cut right through his kunai with almost no resistance. Even though he jumped back, he still got a large, but shallow cut on his chest from the wind blade that came off the sword. Eyes wide with shock, he stared at how much skill that required, and in less than the time it took to blink, Naruto was on him again. Slashing and hacking with a fury the gray-haired man had only ever seen in Kushina Uzumaki, Naruto's strikes were accurate and fierce. They landed exactly where they were supposed to, leaving Kakashi with no room to breathe. After about 5 minutes of jealous emo-inducing combat, Kakashi began to wonder why the hell this was troubling him so much. He was actually pretty skilled with a blade, and his age and experience seemed to be making no progress in fending off Naruto. After getting a pretty vicious cut on his wrist, he looked down at hand, and realized the reason for his difficulties. Seal, restriction seals to be precise. When did they get placed on him? These were pretty advanced, as they restricted everything from movement and strength to chakra and, most dangerous of all, pain. He could not feel all of the cuts inflicted on him. Dumping back with no small amount of fear, Kakashi saw Naruto whip his hand out at him with flourish that made little to no sense. Then he saw it, his precious book flying back to Naruto connected by a chakra string. Fear is all he felt. The absolute terror Prevent feels when his precious porn is threatened. Gripping the book in his hand, the whiskered blonde opened the book, and with a small smirk, said, "What a nice book. It would be a shame if something happened to it." "Don't you agree?" with Kakashi, all the while that smirk never wavering. "Now, Naruto, no need to get violent. Is there?" Kakashi said with a slightly quavering voice. Well Kakashi, if I get a bell, I may consider releasing your book. Now Kakashi was going to call a bluff when Naruto left the leaf. As Kakashi was about to leap at Naruto, to save his precious book of course, he noticed the leaf glow, and then split in half. With that he realized this was no bluff, and tossed a bell screaming in a garbled voice now returning the precious. With the rolling of his eyes Naruto tossed the book back. Just as Kakashi was about to touch it, Naruto flung his chakra string back out, this time full of wind chakra. As Kakashi grabbed his book it did something he never wanted to see. It split in half. Body absolute oozing with killer intent he went to demolish his student when he realized he couldn't move. He could not even struggle, turning his eyes to his book he saw a seal, when that completely ceased all movement. Now normally he could overpower it, but when coupled with the ones on his body, it made him a statue for all intents and purposes. Naruto, realizing his seal had done its job, sauntered over to Kakashi, and took the remaining bell, and called out Tweedledum, and Tweedledummer ass, get out here for your bells. As the two named dumbasses came out. One stomping with a scowl, the other truly and greatly impressed, yet peeved at her new name. After tossing the bells at them he began to explain this was a teamwork exercise. As a team player I got the bells for you. And with that he turned to Kakashi, and reached into his back pouch, and pulled out an orange book. We pass, don't we Kakashi? If we don't, well your real book will get more than split unlike the fake I put in your hands. As he said this his other hand was enveloped in fire. This is due to immense skill in elemental manipulation. And so with the little movement he could muster, Kakashi began to swiftly nod his head, the earlier terror back in his eyes. Lovely, although if this book prevents you from committing to your duties, then maybe it would be better to remove it from your person. Yes, that would be a good idea. And with that he filled the book with fire chakra, turning it to ashes in front of a horror-stricken pervert. Swiftly grabbing Sakura by the waist he said, oh those seals will be gone in about 20 seconds. Bye sensei, as he was gone with Sakura in a fire and shushin. As he was released from the seals Kakashi surged to his book letting out a scream that would haunt the village for years to come. My precious. I need to say that Sakura has little to no confidence in the series, this is why she has problems. So she anchored to Ino, then Sasuke. All to make her able to function. If she were to believe in herself then look out for a badass. Also everyone allows it to occur so if someone makes her really look at herself I think she could change. Though, and Naruto will seem soft in this, but sometimes reassurance can get you a lot, and he knows that. In Naruto's training field, appearing in his training field in a small blaze of fire, Naruto let go of Sakura, walked a bit away, turned, and looked at her slightly irritated yet surprised face. This made him smirk before saying to Sakura, why did you become a kunoichi? This left Sakura spluttering till she had to stop and think, why did she become a ninja? Well originally it was to make her father proud, who happened to have been a powerful level civilian-born ninja, before he was injured in the Kyuubi attack. He had suffered a rare massive damage to the spine that left him unable to fight like a shinobi. She had wanted to prove a civilian-born was powerful enough to be a ninja, as well as a female. She started to cry, as she realized she had lost her purpose. Actually she also wondered when it was lost. She was then startled by Naruto's warm arms around her, cradling her to his chest, and began to sob at her failure. You have so much potential Sakura, that's why I used to pretend to crush on you to boost your confidence. I remember what you had said to the class. You wanted to make your father proud, to prove that females and civilians could become powerful ninjas. If you are willing to work for it, I can help you get there Sakura. I mean look at me, I am about low after 2 weeks, think of what you could do. Naruto had done in one moment, something no one had ever done, he had faith in her. Aside from her father the rest of her clan always said she was not capable, and had to marry Sasuke, that is why she was such a fangirl. He was supposed to be the reason she existed, or at least that is what she was taught. And with that Sakura the fangirl died, and Sakura the true kunoichi was born. Looking at Naruto with the fire in her eyes he had never seen before she said, I will work at it, but I need help. Help me. Chuckling at her resolve he simply said, turn, and let me see your back. I need to apply some training seals. As he began to place the seals on her body he told her about the function of each. The first is a seal to place resistance on your body so you won't become bulky, while gaining a lot of strength and stamina. And a lot of speed. The other is of my own creation that has multiple purposes and equal benefits. While you sleep it pulls your passive chakra from your body and places it in a reserve so that you can use it for later. This makes your reserves get a lot bigger over time. This is great for you, as a female, and civilian born have little chakra. Better yet you should have enough to make shadow clones which transfer anything they learn and experience to you. While you won't be able to make a lot it should still massively boost your results while we train your body. As he finished he took in Sakura's odd face, as she realized how strong she could get over a short period of time. Smiling at how well his plan was working he activated the seals, and watched her struggle under the feeling for a minute. Okay, since Kakashi is always late I want you here at 6 o'clock, we will train till 11:30, rest, and eat, then go to Kakashi. He will only keep us for a few hours, as he is a lazy bastard. Then on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays we will both work at the hospital to gain medical experience, as I feel you would be a great medic. This will happen from 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we will work on your skills with our basic ninja weapons and substitution. You should have about enough to make 3 clones tomorrow, so they will learn the dancing snake, a mixture between medic and serpent style I made. Hauling a bit at what Naruto just said, Sakura then stopped and gave what had to be one of the scariest grins he had ever seen on Kurama's level. It was a mixture of bring it and what looked to be a bit of pleasure at the idea of how powerful she will be. With that they began. With the Jonin in the Hokage's office, Kakashi appeared in the office covered in shallow cuts and an angry tear-streaked face. Everyone paled at the raw killing intent he was just oozing. With a fire in his eyes not unlike Sakura's, he said while seething Team 7 passed, "Now let me kill Naruto." "And why should I let you do that?" The aged Hokage said with a twinkle of amusement in his eyes, realizing that despite his changes the blonde-haired enigma still enjoyed pranking. "The blonde bastard used my book to win. He fooled me into thinking he had cut it in half, so when I grabbed it I was sealed down, and then he proceeded to capture the real book and force me to pass him, then burn it." He finished with a mixture between a growl and a whimper of sadness. This led to Anko rolling the floor absolutely and madly cackling with laughter. "I love the gaki." She managed to get out between insane chuckles. That was kind of the consensus of everyone's thoughts. It seemed the old Hokage was right, Naruto still enjoyed a good prank. This thought made him shiver at the thought of a vicious Naruto, and pranks, ugh scary. Maybe he ought to make sure the village and himself gets back on Naruto's good side again. If not, there may not be a village. Naruto and Sakura have become very close like brother and sister, except that Sakura has a very high level of respect for Naruto and is very protective. Naruto is the same with Sakura, also they may seem to flirt, it is just their way of talking. Oh, and I believe that the bigger your chakra size is the bigger your breast size is, just look at Tsunade. She had lower reserves as a child, but had massive more as an adult, the same for her breast. Just saying, this can also be seen with every powerful female character in the series. 6 weeks later, Naruto loved being right, and at this moment he knew he was right about how talented Sakura was. It had been 6 weeks, and Sakura had massively increased in skill. Currently she was using 9 clones, as her chakra levels had tripled, to work on various things. 3 to work on dancing serpents, 3 to work on chakra scalpels, all the while working on the water walking exercise with Naruto's clones chucking rocks at her. This helped to build speed, stamina, evasion, and chakra levels, and even helped concentration. Overall he rated her high genin to low level ninja. She could very easily beat Imo Uchiha. This however did not rate her medical abilities, as she showed a rather frightening level of skill with that. Only 6 weeks of training, and she was a solid level medic. This took Naruto a week of using 50 clones to accomplish. She also showed a bit of a fetish for chakra scalpels, managing something Naruto also did, to make them without a visual presence. You could not see them, making them all the more dangerous. Sakura's stats: Taijutsu mid-level, Control medic level 2, Weapons low Chunin level, level 3 resistance seals, like walking through water going at 10 miles an hour, Medical ninjutsu mid Chunin level, Genjutsu low level, Speed low level, Strength high genin level, Chakra level high genin level, Stamina low level. Speaking of skill, Naruto also was massively stronger. He was overall as strong as Kakashi, and so was Elite Jounin. Like all elites he had a specialty. Guy's was Taijutsu, Kakashi's was ninjutsu, his was Kenjutsu mixed with elemental manipulation. This meant that one skill was Kage level, but not all of them overall. Naruto's stats: Kenjutsu mid-Kage level, Taijutsu Elite Jounin level. He was not Guy's level, but could very easily beat Kakashi here if he was not using the Sharingan, especially if he used chakra scalpels in his attacks. Control medic level 3. This is even higher than Kage level, but not Tsunade's level. Weapons Elite Jounin level. Ninjutsu Elite level, knows of every type element, and can use substitution like no one's business. Elemental manipulation high Kage level. When you use as many clones on this you are going to be good at it, and he has also learned the other 2 elements for manipulation, after he mastered the 3 he started with. Seals level 9-10. Level 10 resistance seals, like mud through water going at 30 miles an hour. Medical ninjutsu mid Jounin level. Ninjutsu mid level, casting, but is immune to due to Kurama. Speed Elite level, faster than Kakashi, but slower than Guy with his weight off. Strength low Kage level. All Uzumakas and Senjus have powerful bodies, just look at Tsunade. Chakra level low, about as much as Shikaku the One Tail. This equals as much as 5 cages. They were both well liked at the ninja hospital, as both had gotten a lot of praise for their skills and abilities in the medical arts. They were even now certified as Chunin level battle medics, only a lack of field experience keeping Naruto from being a level battle medic. They also had saved up a good portion of money for themselves after working at the hospital plus missions. After about another they stopped to disperse their clones, and rested before heading to Kakashi. But Kakashi and the Imo Uchiha 2 hours later. This is one-eyed pervert, are you in position? This is Emo Duck in position. I hate you Naruto. This is sexy pink bitch in position. I love you Naruto senpai. This is Foxy Blonde got in position, oh, and the feeling is mutual for the both of you. And with that they leap to the most terrifying thing in the village next to horny Uchiha fangirls on Sasuke's birthday, the dreaded one-tailed demon cat, Tor. After a brief struggle in which Sasuke ended up covered in scratches one suspiciously in the shape of the kanji for Tor, Naruto managed to place a constriction seal on Tor. They then turned to go to the mission's office. At the mission office, Iruka and Hiruzen had to hold back a laugh as the last loyal Uchiha burst in, covered in scratches, and the rest came in scratch-free, the two other genin holding back smug grins at their teammates' misfortune. As they looked at Sakura they were shocked at her clothing. Gone was her pink battle dress and long hair. Now she had short haircut just below the ear with the tips colored black and a black choker. Her outfit now consisted of mid-thigh length black shorts with skin tight and colored stockings going down to red and black boots that stopped at mid-calf. Her top part stopped at her midriff and showed her surprisingly well-toned stomach versus the slightly underfed look she used to sport. It was also red and black swirled. The arms parts went to the middle of her forearm with black bands on her wrists with seals on them and black fingerless gloves. The most surprising part was the fact that she now had a low B-cup breast versus the flat chest she once had. The overall look made Iruka blush a little at how much she had changed and how beautiful she had become over the last 6 weeks since he had last seen her. He also noticed the thigh pouches and the 2 back pouches she had on. Mission done, Lord Hokage, and with that he handed over the cat to his owner. They began to squish him between her massive breasts, all the while redefining the meaning of the phrase love hurts. After paying the Hokage she left with the struggling cat. This made Sasuke grin in vindictive pleasure at the poor feline's misfortune. Well, let's see what other D ranks we have there. Babysitting for an elder, walking some dogs, no catching again. This caused the Uchiha to snap, as he went over to the desk, and slammed his fist on it screaming, no more pathetic D ranks, I demand something worthy of an Uchiha. After the collective face slaps of Sakura, Naruto, and Kakashi at the boy's behavior toward a superior officer, the irate teacher began on a rant of the mission system. He was however interrupted by Naruto saying actually we have done the prerequisite of doing a C rank, and we are more than capable of doing so. This caused them to look at the gray-haired sensei in confirmation. Getting a solid nod he spoke. Okay, I will allow, come to Tazuna. Then a clearly drunk middle-aged man came stumbling in with a jar of sake in his hand. He began to slur out a sentence. This is my team. A one-eyed cyclops, a duck-headed emo, a slutty pink-haired girl, and a blonde midget. I thought I was getting a real ninja, not this lot. He finished off with a waft of rather strong alcohol breath. This rant made Naruto and Sakura snicker at his audacity. The said duck-headed emo charged at him only to be held back by Kakashi who merely looked amused. Now, Sasuke, you can't just kill our client, it's bad for business. Then he felt an absolutely massive pressure coming from Naruto. It made everyone stiffen at the raw sense of power Naruto's chakra could produce. Naruto merely raised his eyebrow and said to Tazuna, I assure you we can handle anything we need to. Unless you are expecting something you have not told us. He then released the pressure and smirked at the jealous glare Sasuke was now sending him. Okay, Tazuna managed to say with a surprisingly firm voice. He was actually impressed by the boy. Let's meet at the gate tomorrow at 8 AM, okay? See you then. Kakashi said with the patented one-eyed grin, and then left in a puff of smoke. Something that was copied with Sakura and Naruto's fire shushin. Sasuke just left with a scowl on his face, as he could not do that. This left Iruka and Hiruzen to wonder about Sakura's dramatic change, and what the mission would be like. They were not sure whether to be amused or worried, so they settled for both. Sakura may or may not have special abilities due to her split personality. I have not decided. Oh, and killing in 10 does not depend on skill, but the desire to kill both Naruto and Sakura love to fight, so they have a lot of Kai accessible. At the gate 8 o'clock am, Sasuke was the first to arrive at the gate, along with the old drunk Tazuna. Next was Naruto and Sakura who arrived in a swirl of water, setting the frigid Uchiha into a level 10 brood fest, at the fact they were able to do something he could not. Not 5 minutes later Kakashi appeared actually on time, breaking even Sasuke's brooding at the shock of the idea of Kakashi being on time. Even Kurama was trying what seemed to be obvious. What, is it that surprising? The gray-haired man said while sheepishly rubbing the back of his head. He was answered with a resounding hell yeah. That quote WELL anyway let's go team, and with that they went on their way to wave. About 3 hours into the journey Naruto, Kakashi, and Sakura sensed something rather weak. Sasuke, still brooding about Itachi, noticed nothing at all. This made Naruto and Sakura roll their collective eyes at the fact that he believed himself to be an elite, yet did not notice a rather pathetic illusion, when said illusions were the specialty of his clan. Suddenly 2 figures came out of the puddle, and wrapped a horror-stricken Kakashi in their chain, and tore him into pieces. Naruto, able to sense emotions, could sense the immense fear Sasuke had at the moment, making Naruto realize that Sasuke really thought Kakashi was dead. This made him shake his head in disappointment. Sasuke then threw himself at the two, and was soundly getting beaten, something that warmed Kurama's little black heart. After a moment of Sasuke's humiliation, the two suddenly collapsed on the ground unable to move. Behind them was Naruto with his palms out where their spines would have been. He then turned his head and sat there taking care of Dumbus. "You can come out now." "What are you talking about, loser? There's no one out there," Sasuke said, trying to recover the remains of his shattered pride. "And you call yourself an elite," was the response he got from both Naruto and Sakura as Kakashi came out rubbing the back of his head. One interrogation of Tazuna later, and one guilt trip from him in response. Sakura asked, "What are we going to do with them?" Pointing at the paralyzed demon brothers. "Help me take care of this, sis," Naruto responded, as he walked over to the demon brothers, and took out a kunai, one for him, the other for Sakura. He then filled his with wind chakra, and with one swift movement, beheaded the brother in front of him, while Sakura merely stabbed the brother in front of her in the heart. Collecting the bodies and scrolls Naruto had on hand, they turned to see the horrified faces of Sasuke and Tazuna, and the shocked yet approving face of Kakashi. "Why did you collect the bodies after killing them, and why did you make the girl kill them?" Tazuna asked, generally curious. The response he got was a simple bounty, and to get her first kill out of the way, and with that they were off to wave. One day later, we found our group in a boat about an hour and a half from Tazuna's house. Naruto, seeing the bridge through the mist, raised an eyebrow at the general skill and mastery that required. Landing on the ground, they made their way to Tazuna's house through the thickening mist. Sensing chakra in the mist, Naruto put his senses into overdrive, and noticed two people of large chakra reserves coming their way. One with low cage level reserves, and one with mid-level reserves. Tensing, he signed, as such, to Sakura, who also got ready for the ambush. Sasuke, hearing a rustling, threw a kunai at a bush, and then pushed it back to see a rather terrified bunny. Then Naruto and Kakashi tensed from hearing the sound of a rather large object coming at them. "Duck," they both said, as Naruto pushed their client down. As the sword stuck in a tree, a man appeared on the handle sneering at them. "Kakashi of the Sharingan, what a surprise. Hand over the old man, and I let you live," the man said, believing that all that he was facing aside from the joining was Riki-genin. After a massive eye rolling from Naruto, Kakashi responded by lifting his headband, and said, "Sorry, can't do that." Zabuza, the revelation of another Sharingan, sent Sasuke into a slight trance about how powerful it was, and its abilities. Which once again made Naruto roll his eyes. Giving information to the enemy was so stupid. Summoning even more mist around the team, his voice began to echo around them, describing places he could kill them with the silent killing technique. Flooding them with killing team. Naruto and Sakura responded by sending their own back, surprising Kakashi as Sakura's was mid-level, and Naruto's was stronger than the one-tails. Sasuke just started to shake, placing a kunai to his throat, unable to cope with the massive amount of killing intent. And that was before his teammates had begun to give of theirs. "Don't worry, Sasuke, I will never let my comrades die," he replied with another one-eyed grin. After a small bout, Kakashi ended up in a water prison, and a small group of water clones were facing his students, telling Taunt their weakness. Feeling challenged and offended at how nonchalant Zabuza was about him, an elite charged at them. He was swiftly dropped and kicked back to his teammates. Sighing at the stupidity of the emo, Naruto created 3 clones to surround Tazuna. Then he turned to his only reliable teammate. He said, "Heal the Dumbus if you can, draw off the seal for chakra if you need to get a knot." In response, Naruto turned back to the clones and released his resistance seals. The next thing anyone knew, all of the clones shattered back into water, and Naruto was at Zabuza, fist raised. Believing that he was safe, he merely raised his sword to stop the blow. Smirking at the fact he was being badly underestimated, Naruto connected with the sword, and it shattered. First breaking through, he connected with Zabuza's face, sending the nuke skipping across the water. Naruto himself landed on the water with a ruffle. Kakashi's face was covered in shock at the raw power and skill of his student. That feat required a massive amount of strength, as that sword was made by master swordsmiths. The sword itself was a legend. To have broken a sword of that quality. This really puts things into perspective for him on Naruto's skills. Picking himself up shaking, Zabuza glared at Naruto before puking up a bit of blood. He did not even touch his ribs, yet Naruto had somehow broken at least 3 of them. Naruto then appeared informed of him with his sword raised, and a malicious grin on his face. The continued frenzy was wearing on the injured swordsman. His body hurt, and he realized that he did not dodge all of the blows, as he started to bleed all over, from small cuts caused from tiny wind blades coning of the sword. The next thing he knew was Naruto kicking him in the chest with a sickening crunch and snapping sound. Being knocked into a tree, he looked up to see Naruto walking up to him ready to end his life. Just before he could though, 3 landed in Zabuza's throat. The hunter nin with the same chakra he sensed before was there ready to collect the body. "Thank you, I have been following him for a while." The hunter spoke with a slightly feminine voice. "No problem," Naruto replied with a kind grin. "I would be happy to help you dismember him." Raising his sword to do just that, the hunter nin grabbed Zabuza and diapered in a hurry. Going back to his team, he noticed a thoroughly impressed Tazuna, a proud Sakura, and a scowling and exhausted Kakashi. Just as he was about to say something, Kakashi passed out. Sighing, Naruto pulled his forehead protector down, and grabbed the 2 unconscious members of his team, and the rest of them walked to Tazuna's house. at Tazuna's house. As Tazuna opened the door to let in the ninjas escorting him, they all saw the rather bare state of the house. Also, the two aware members of the team noticed a certain guarded look in the face of Tazuna's daughter Tsunami. She, shocked at the state of two of the members, quickly led them upstairs to lay them down. Naruto and Sakura began to examine the state of the two using a basic medic. Naruto noticed that Kakashi was suffering from extreme chakra exhaustion and several cracked ribs. Not to mention several bruises and a cut on his bicep, though it was small and rather shallow, it was still there. Telling the results to Sakura, who had finished the Emo's exam, began to fill him into Sasuke's condition, just as Kakashi was waking up. He has 6 broken ribs and several fractures, slight internal bleeding, and a concussion. The worst was a bleeding in his lungs, but I healed that earlier. I don't have enough chakra to completely heal him, so can I heal Kakashi? I can manage that. Sakura spoke in a rather professional tone, knowing that Naruto was better at the moment and had substantially more chakra. Kakashi was rather surprised to hear the medical knowledge of the two, and was even more shocked when they actually began to heal them. It took about 10 minutes before they were fully healed. Sakura only slightly sweated at the strain of using more chakra than she would have liked. How do you two have so much ability, and how the hell are you so powerful, Naruto? You were the dead last. Kakashi asked in a rather exasperated yet authoritative voice. Well, if you actually attempted to be a sensei, you would have known that I have been training with Sakura in both the hospital and in general. You have received a report that me and Sakura were considered a Chunin level medic last week, but were too lazy to look at this. I have been using shadow clones to make up for the shitty job the academy supplied, and found a way for Sakura to use it to a smaller degree without any issues. And no, I won't teach you Uchiha. Naruto finished just as he noticed Sasuke was awake and listening. This of course sent him into a rage, and Kakashi into a pride-induced fuss. I have been a sensei, Naruto. Kakashi attempted to defend his wounded pride. Really? And what we have taught us, only a handful of poor attempts at teamwork, your sensei would be ashamed of you. You are not even aware of my and Sakura's medical skills. Naruto said with a small amount of irritation. Seriously, how the hell did Kakashi reach this level if he was so lazy? Of course this made Kakashi angry at the sting at his teamwork fetish. So he began to sulk. Then the Uchiha had something to say. It does not matter what you teach Sakura or how you both train, you both will never become anything special. Not like the Uchiha said. Voice full of pointless pride. Says the person who got knocked out in one kick to the person who demolished Zabuza with little effort. This was Sakura, which sent Kakashi into a little shock, as he believed her to be a Uchiha fangirl. Seeing the look on his face, she began to explain her lack of fangirl behavior. Unlike you, Naruto has been working with me on my old behavior, and with his help, I am roughly low Chunin level, and a solid level medic. This of course shocked Kakashi. Of course he won't change, as that would require effort, a crime in his mind. Still, he was impressed by this mysterious training method Naruto had Sakura use. Anyway, I would like to inform you that Zabuza should be back in a week. Naruto explained to the shock of Kakashi and Sasuke. Seeing their shock, he decided to explain. He was grabbed by a fake hunter nin who had saved him, and the damage to his body should heal in 7 to 10 days give or take. Mostly due to the blunt force trauma of my last hit to his chest. Very well, I guess we have to do some training tomorrow to prepare you guys a bit. He finished with a sigh at the idea of training them, something he had hoped to delay for as long as he could. Why, I am not sure, he just wanted to. They never explain it in the series. Next day in the clearing. Okay, today you learn how to climb trees. Kakashi sat with a pair of crutches under his arms. Sighing at his pathetic attempt at teaching both Naruto and Sakura, began to walk up the trees. This of course sent the Uchiha into a rage at the fact that they were ahead of him. So he yelled at them, how the hell do you do that? This made Naruto say, I am not your sensei, I am her sensei. To that Kakashi said, if you know this, what other control exercises do you know? We both know surface clinging, water walking, leaf sticking, kunai balancing, chakra pulsing, and well, we both know how to do the waterfall climbing exercise, only I can do it right now, due to the raw chakra requirements. Naruto explained while enjoying the shock on Kakashi's face at how advanced those two were. He really had to think about this. Naruto is an Uzumaki Jinchuriki, for crying out loud. His controls should suck, as the academy said they should. We will guard Tazuna at the bridge. Getting a day's nod in confirmation, Naruto and Sakura left in a swirling of wind. At the bridge, after watching one coward leave, Naruto asked, how many workers do you need? Getting a 50 minimum and 150 max. In response, Naruto created 150 clones to help. This made Tazuna grin at how fast the bridge would be made. This would multiply his work speed by at least 10 times. With that thought, he began to order the clones around. A lot of progress happened that day. While the bridge was being worked on, Naruto had Sakura train under the bridge. She was sparring with his clones. The goal was to increase her reserves, and to make her fighting more fluid. She was using that chakra from the seal to maintain her body, rather than make clones. You really had to be impressed at the efficiency of Naruto's training methods, as he too was sparing his clones down under the bridge. Over a period of a week, this would help in his battle performance. He even had clones catching fish for the workers and cooking them. A very productive day indeed. Thanks for watching my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.